Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Tamitou here. So today's build's going to be another industrial themed loft, as you can tell. I've been really into doing these kind of builds recently. I only just uploaded the industrial loft build, that was its name. So I'm going to have to figure out a different name for this, even though it's pretty similar in style. But it's a lot more of an open build, and I think I had a lot more fun due to the restrictions of the apartment block. So instead of building my own penthouse from scratch, I just had to use the restrictions of this apartment that's pre-made. And we are building in the business area of San Myshuno. So we're in one of the like more kind of politician-y I don't know, business person area. Does that make any sense? So basically, this is where Lily and Victor Feng live, and they're both in politics and business, and they earn a lot of money, and they're quite I don't know, they're just quite odd Sims. They don't want kids, they just want money and power and that kind of thing. So I think they're like secretly trying to take over San Myshuno or something, I don't know. But I decided to kick them out. And basically I've made this 3-bed loft that I thought maybe 3 young Sims could live in, maybe like house sharing or flat sharing. And maybe because of the area that we're in, I thought maybe they could be working in something that earns them a lot of money, maybe in banking or finance. That's, you know, quite a dull kind of job, but enables them to afford this amazing kind of like concept loft. It's really, really cool. I love all the glass in it. And yes, we have huge windows on the apartment building that I can't change. So I added more industrial windows inside as well. I don't think, like my other one, that it was converted from like a warehouse or something before, but maybe it's been given that vibe purposefully, like by an interior designer. So yeah, it's got loads of these big squared windows and doors as well. And there's this gorgeous red brick all over as well. So here, when I was choosing the floor, this was the floor I would naturally go for. But I was trying to stop myself because I used that same flooring in my last build. And I wanted this one to be a little bit sharper and cleaner and more kind of high-end luxury feel. Because as I said, the Sims here earn a lot of money. And I feel like they would just move in and everything would already be there ready and like purposefully designed. So it's a little bit more or less boho than the last one I did. So if you see my last build, you'll know that it was a little bit more like here and there, like it just had clutter, nothing was symmetrical, it was just kind of whatever the Sim wanted, and they were a bit more musical. And these Sims are completely different. I figure they would just be like bachelors or something. They're just like young bachelors and they just want to move in and have a nice place and show off their space, you know, to like their friends and stuff. So here I'm trying to make this raised bed that I actually did a long time ago in a room build that I uploaded to the gallery. Yes, I know the Sims can't use it, and that's ultimately what made me change it and get rid of it, but I did want to just show you the footage and show you how cool it would be. If there was any way of making this work, I'd love it, because it just makes the bed look so cool and a lot bigger. And obviously you can use the different surfaces to put little clutter like I did. So yeah, I ended up not going with that. So all the beds are usable in the end. And here I'm just making some wall details. So I wanted it to look like the walls were exposed. And I did this in my last industrial build as well. But I just had a lot more fun with it here as well, just putting it in more spaces and using the debug wallpaper there, the one on the right. It's just like a column, like concrete blocks. If you type in your cheat bar bb.show hidden objects, then that will come up in the wallpaper section. And it's just a really cool textured wallpaper to use just on its own, like one strip or the whole wall, whatever. So yeah, I use that a lot, and you'll see me going and kind of in areas where it's a little bit boring or there's nothing I can really put on the wall because of the windows, I'll use that instead for some detail. And you just see me add these windows as like big open doors. Basically I sectioned off the front door so that it has its own industrial front door, so from the actual door that you can't change. And then there's this corridor, and there are 2 bedrooms off of that corridor and a bathroom that they share. And I figured maybe because the because the living space is kind of all just open, there might be a lot of sound. Like if you're having people over or a party or something, like I imagine they would, you can then close off those doors and those Sims can sleep in there, and there shouldn't be, realistically, there shouldn't be any sound coming through. Like they've got that extra corridor. And it also just made a nice detail, since I couldn't really add any other walls in this open area because it wouldn't really work. So yeah, I've added the beams across the roof. I've added the stairs. I love how the stairs go up sort of under the beams, like you could maybe touch them as you're walking up. I've added a lot of features like that. I just wanted it to look very open, and instead of hiding all of the beams and the concrete pillars and stuff, they've just exposed them instead and used them as features. So I picked this column in the end. I thought it looked like maybe a support column. It looks so strong and like it's such a big one. And I kind of added it in the middle of the counters. I really like how that looks. And again, I did the trick of using 2 separate counter types. So I've used really black, sleek, modern ones along the back wall, and then just some like the industrial base game ones on the island. So I just like that contrast. And here I was using these really handy build items that came with the toddler stuff pack. They're just these like poles that go on the other end of the fairy lights, and I've used them for a lot of other things, and they're just one of those handy items that you can try. You can make like features with them, or I've made like garden swings with them by raising up benches and using them as like the rope or the chain. But I just wanted them there as some detail. I think I do switch them for pillars in the end, but it's just an example of how you can use that for just any other features you might want to be creative with or experiment with. So yeah, I think I do switch them for poles, but still, yeah, it's just a tip you could use as well. For the dining table, I wanted it to not be like, well, I didn't want it to be like a huge dining table with like really nice chairs. That I felt like it's there more for the Sims would just kind of come in and sling their stuff on the table and like not really use it to entertain. I can't imagine them having like dinner parties. I think it'd be more of like house parties and stuff. And the dining table just comes with the apartment, so they don't really use it for that. So that's why I didn't put many chairs, and it's just a small table. But I like the chairs. They've got a lot of texture to them if you look closely. And here I'm just extending the top mezzanine floor slightly, just because the cooker fan or the hood that goes above the cooker, the extractor, was just hanging on nothing, and I realized that, and I thought, no, that's bad, I can't do that. So yeah, I just extended the floor slightly there, so that I could have it hanging from the ceiling, basically. So here you see I'm just adding some more detail in the upstairs, and I go back and forth to it throughout the build, and even after I stopped recording, I did add some features. So the final one is obviously in the screenshots, and you'll see. And I also use a bit of asymmetry here, just with this one cabinet that's kind of open and has the glasses in, maybe the alcohol, I don't know. And then I also did this thing I've done before as well, of adding this dine out wall panel and then having some stuff hang from it, just you know the essentials that maybe won't fit in the cupboards or on the surfaces, just so that it's a lot neater clutter wise. And yeah, I kind of the trickiest part I think about this build is how open the space is, and you can see that I've already started to place the sofas, but it didn't work there. Like the sofas wouldn't work because I wanted the TV. I didn't want the TV, first of all, to be hanging on a window, and I didn't really want it to be on a table. I wanted it to be a big TV. I thought if there's anything that these guys are gonna go all out on, it's gonna be a TV. So you'll see me later move the TV area, and it's kind of an odd space. But then I add like a kind of small office kind of area in a way. Like I add like a shared computer space, and you'll see that. And I think that really makes it look more like a convivial kind of space, and yeah, more like a house share basically. So here I'm getting rid of this kind of like custom bed that I made, RIP, and the mural as well that was from the room that I told you about, that I uploaded. So I'll put a screenshot, I think, to show you of what I mean. And I'm just going back to my same old trick of, if I want a really luxury high-end looking bed, I'll just kind of merge these items in and have these like hanging or like floating bedside shelves, and then I just put a really cool painting on the back wall that's really industrial feel. It looks to me like a ship or something. something. I think it's just meant to be abstract so that you don't no person sees the same thing kind of painting. But yeah, I use that orange theme, and I actually take some of the purple out of that painting and add it into the room as well. So like there's a couple of bits of purple that I do bring in a second, and I really like how it looks in the end. It's very matchy, but contrasted with all the the rawness of the walls and all the windows, I think it looks cool. So yeah, this rug here, I've never used it. I think it's cats and dogs. Yeah, I just thought it worked really well. And in the end, I do hang a big copper kind of big ceiling light as well, which just ties it all in. I really like that. So and here I was able to add a little sofa space just in that little bit that I extended. And yeah, I kind of like the upstairs mezzanine. It's really cool. Like you could stand up there and look down the whole living space. You could see, you know, if someone's cooking or if someone's watching TV. You could even see the TV maybe from the bedroom. That's how open it is. So yeah, here's what I was talking about. I ended up moving the sitting space here, and I know it kind of seems like it's the most cramped space to put it, but I really wanted to do the TV unit around it. So you'll see me kind of add colour to there later. And here I was trying to use this plant maybe as a centerpiece in the table, but the table's too transparent and you could see the underneath, so it didn't work. But maybe it's an idea that I will pin for another time. And just for a hot second, I decided maybe I could use this kind of space that was empty as an indoor atrium, and I did very briefly consider the idea of putting a tree or something, but it just ended up being, I don't know, it stole the focus from all the features that I'd kind of worked so hard on. So I decided not to do that. But again, something I could do in the future maybe. And here I've just used these base game cabinets just to make this kind of TV unit around the massive curved TV. And I like it. I think even though it's not a massive space, I think it's probably still true to The Sims. So yeah, I'll finish it off in a second. And here is my little computer space that I thought they could all share. And all I did was put a round dining table around, or sort of in the same space as this column. And I really like how it looks. It kind of just looks like it's been built around the column. And you can fit more computers there, obviously, but I've just put 2 for now. And I also raised up these really nice copper, down-facing lights. And they look really cool. They look like they're attached to the pillar, and you've got your own personal spotlight. If it's late at night and you're still up working and everyone's asleep and it's dark, you've still got this down-facing light that you can continue and you can see perfectly. So I really like how that looks in the end. It's the smallest space in the whole apartment, maybe, but it's probably one of my favorite features in this place. So yeah, it's just a really new random thing that just came about in this build. And yeah, I also kind of tried to put some more color in at this point. I was adding this crazy rug, and I've got the blue sofa up there and the painting, and I'm trying to add a little bit more color, but I still wanted it more muted than my last one, than my last loft build, just because, like I said, I wanted it to be more sleek and a bit more luxurious. And this huge light worked perfectly here. I sized it up even. I mean, it's a massive light without sizing it up, but because I've raised it to the second level, yeah, I thought it was perfect. So it kind of, I guess it kind of fills in that space quite well, because obviously the TV is kind of tucked in that corner, but yeah, I like it in the end. And I'm just adding some few abstract paintings sort of as you go up the stairs. They're all in a bit of an odd place, I guess. And the bathrooms as well, I'm showing briefly just because I really love the wallpaper I just placed. It's this white brick. It comes in a few swatches. It's with City Living, and it's this really kind of commercial looking brick. And I really like the idea of using it indoors, and I like how it kind of just it just contrasts with the red brick really well, and I wanted that for a couple of walls. So I'm kind of going with a copper theme here, with copper taps and shower on the wall, and some copper shelves, and then the mirror is kind of copper looking. It's just basically an orange light from Spa Day, but yeah, I kind of just wanted that copper feel. I thought maybe it's kind of inspired by the copper pipes that you might have found in the apartment. So yeah, both bathrooms are fully furnished. They've both got a bath and a shower and a sink and everything. So there's more than enough space, and yeah, there shouldn't be a problem with your Sims kind of fighting for the bathroom or anything. Obviously, whichever Sim takes the mezzanine level bedroom is the maybe the sim paying the most rent share, I don't know. But yeah, they've got this awesome view upstairs. And the third bedroom, or the second bedroom, is more muted. It's still a very masculine color scheme. It's just got these it's got this blue to it, this blue kind of accents with the pillows of the bed and the wall art as well. And the third bedroom is actually a lot more relaxed and more colorful, definitely. And I think it's the favorite of the three for me. And I was trying to make a custom bed, but yeah, I just get so bored of the beds that I tried to make any custom bed heads and ends any way I can, basically, but it didn't really work in this build. So I ended up going with this bed that I really like. I love the color of the wood on the frame for this. And it's got a bit more of a Zen vibe. It's kind of got some Japanese maybe inspired art on the wall and a lot of city living items, basically. And I like the color in it. It definitely shows that there's different sim personalities going on in this house. And I really like the bright yellow chair that I put in this room in a second, just for like a pop of color, and as well as the wall art that I use. So some city living wall art. I used the same painting behind the bed twice, just one sized up, and it just looks really asymmetrical and really cool. I've never really done that before, so I liked how that looked. And then I used like a koi painting as well above the chair, so I really like how that looks. You'll see in just a second. And I also figured all of these blinds that I've placed, all the same ones in all the bedrooms, they're kind of like the first pet stuff ones. I figured those would be electric, so they would just kind of move up and down as you want them to black out the room. So there's definitely privacy there. But we're kind of moving to the end now, so please stick around for the screenshots and for the cinematic shots that I prepared for you guys. And yeah, hopefully they give you an idea of the space. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!